Hi there, this is Lisa Spencer Ballard coming to you from my studio in Lake of the Woods, Virginia. What I'd like to do today is give you a demo, and this is going to be on how to make any occasion cards or holiday cards. And I'm going to teach you a couple techniques. It's going to be in watercolor. So we're going to talk about two basic techniques that are very simple to do that you can take with you into the future. You can make all sorts of different plant life and different types of watercolor images with these two techniques, just two, and they're very simple. And we're going to start on that today. Let's get started. These are the techniques I'm going to show you. We've got a leaf pattern and we've got a sprig pattern. It almost looks like a lavender leaf. That's what it's intended to be. You could do this with just about any color and it would give you the image of another plant. All right, so let's get started with this. I've got two brushes here. Only two brushes that we're going to use today. One of them is a very fine detail brush. It is a 0 round. It's made by Winsor Newton. It's got a sable fir brush. You don't need necessarily a Winsor Newton. A cheap brush will do fine for what we're doing today. This one is a cheap brush made by Artist Loft. It's a number 6. It's a round. Very usable size. The paper that I'm using, let me show you that because this is fairly important. The paper that I'm using, you can get this just about anywhere. 30 sheets, this is under $10 for this. It is, this is the important part, 140 pound. 140 pound is important because of the weight of the watercolor paper. Can you see that? It's very sturdy, it's very solid, and that means that when you use water on your paper, it's not going to bend, it's not going to buckle, it's going to stay flat. That is important because you need to mount your watercolor cards flat. I use a palette. I call it my messy palette. These are watercolors. There's all sorts of blended colors in here that I've blended together, and I actually kind of like that because it is where I can make shadow. I can add dark and light and make shadow and highlight and de-intensify some of the colors I use. I start out with clear water. And what I'm going to start out with today is a straight green, a green without any other color added to it. And just quite simply, what you do is you go light, pressure, light. This is an Asian style brush stroke. You can do this with bamboo brushes. Oftentimes you see this in Asian art. Light, pressure, light. And it will make you a perfect little leaf. What I've done here is I've added a little bit of yellow to my green. This will give you dimension and depth. When it dries, it will give it a little bit more natural of a look. You can do this on a curve, which is what we're going to be doing with the wreath. Light, pressure, light. And I would practice that. I would practice, practice, practice. Do this as many times as you can until you really do feel comfortable with it, because as I said, you are going to be able to do so much with that one technique. You can paint flowers in your garden. You can do all sorts of different things with that. The next thing I'm going to do is my detail brush, this one, the little one. The detail brush is going to give me all those little tiny little, you can do curly cues, you can do stems, you can really get in there. It's called the detail brush for a reason. You can do the thick, thin, thick with this one as well. But the technique that I want to show you today is filling your brush up and using the side of your brush with elongated little dots. Filling your brush up again. And I've created my sprig of lavender. And again, practice, practice, practice. Just keep practicing that until you feel comfortable with it, until you like the look of what you've just done. Next, I'm going to bring in my paper that I'm going to work off of. What I like to do is I like to break my paper down into 4 segments to measure it out. And what I'm going to do is work on just one of these squares. I've got a couple more here because I want you to see when you're working on this how different one wreath can be from the next. When I did this one, I may have liked or disliked something I did. So when I did this one, I could make my changes, change my colors, add some calligraphy, do it differently. And that's what you get to do. Also, when you're making cards in mass, like in the case of a Christmas card where I might want to send, let's just say 25 cards out to friends and family, you want to make use of your supplies and your paper. And so that's one reason I've divided it up. Now, on this blank one, I'm going to show you what I just taught you. The leaf pattern with the number 6 brush. Thin, thick, thin. And as I said, we're going around on a curve. So follow your curve. I've drawn these circles out as a template just to give me a curve to use that's symmetrical and round. You might have a coffee cup or a little glass maybe, something like that, a little dish, something that has a round shape to it that you can use for your template. In this particular case, I wanted it to be a certain size, and so I found a roll of ribbon that I used to create my template. I'm going to come in again, and you'll notice that I have left some space here, and this is going to give me an opportunity to bring in other elements into my wreath. I'm going to do that and bring it to the inside this time of the circle. Now what you may have noticed is that where it is wet, and from the previous leaf, and if this pigment touches it, it may migrate into that area where the wet water is. And that's part of the uncontrollable sort of like beauty of watercolor, is that you don't know what and when that's going to happen. And sometimes it's like a super nice surprise. Now, I'm going to bring in my little brush, my detail brush, and I'm going to use a light blue. I am going to create some little branch-like brush strokes. It's going to allow me to define my circular shape a little bit more. And the reason I'm doing this is because, as I told you, I want to show you how to make the lavender sprigs. And you saw right there when I put the blue there, it migrated into the yellow. And when that dries, it's just going to be just beautiful. I didn't even try to do that. It just sort of happened. And that's what happens with watercolor. So often, it surprises you. All right, so you can see this is how far I am. Starting to look like a nice little shape. But as I mentioned, I want to get in here some lavender. I'm using the side of the brush, these nice little elongated shapes, side of the brush, using the water and the paint, the pigment that the brush contains. Sometimes it's lighter, sometimes it's darker, depending upon how much pigment and water combination you have. You can go for irregularity, because that's what nature is. It's one of the nice things about doing artwork that's organic, is that there are no color rules, there's no normality to it. Anything is possible when you're doing organic subject matters. So there you go. That's a close-up of what we just created. You have the tools to create this wreath if you just practice those two little brush strokes that I just taught you. Watercolor, by nature, is wet. It's wet and dry at different times, depending upon how much water you put down and how dry of a brush you use. So you have to be careful. It dries at different paces. You have to be careful to set it aside, have patience, let it dry, so that you don't brush your hand over the work that you just did and smudge it. So off it goes to dry. I'm going to show you some of the cards that I've put together. This is the wreath, maybe with a few variations that I just taught you how to do. This is the cardstock that you can buy in Michael's or in the stores, and I'll show you those in a minute. And what I did was I just added a little calligraphy. I added some paper in the back of it. This cardstock is something that you can also get in the store. I punched 2 holes here with a basic punch, one of these basic punches that you can get in the store. Any stationery store will have those. Strung the ribbon through and mounted the artwork onto the cardboard, paper stock card, with double-sided tape. Double-sided tape like this. You just put it on the back on all 4 corners and stick it down, press it down for just a little bit to make sure it sticks good. It's sticky on both sides. Really handy stuff. The paper, this paper that sort of frames your piece, let me talk about that a little bit. In the craft store, in the scrapbooking section, you can get all sorts of papers. You can get plain papers. You can pre-cut the paper to be the perfect size to back your card with. And it comes in all sorts of beautiful patterns for scrapbooking, but it works in a case like this too. You can get metallics. You can get practically anything in patterns with these papers these days. It's art made easy with all the abundance and availability that we have today. The cardstock is also available at the craft store. This is a matte red cardstock, blank card. Comes with an envelope. I got 40 pieces, $9.99. The 40 sets include the envelopes. It's a pretty good deal. You can also find invitations in the craft store. It's usually under wedding invitations. I love these because you get an amazing amount of doodads and pre-designed pieces that you can just put together. You get beautiful ribbons. You know, you get gossamer and satin ribbons. You get pre-printed paper already with the holes in them where you can string your ribbon through. You get vellum sheets that you attach there as a protective covering for your artwork. Put your artwork there, mount it, it's all ready to go. These aren't very expensive at all. And they're so beautiful. They make such a beautiful presentation. I'm going to show you a couple examples of your card and things that you can do with your card with the wreath, things that I've done. This is your matte paper stock in red, and I've put the decorative paper behind it. I've added some calligraphy. I've added a couple stars. The stars could be celebration of a new year. It could be celebration of a baby or graduation, anything. But you see, your wreath is still here. The basic of the wreath is very general. It's something you can use all year long. This is an example of a invitation, a wedding invitation. And I'm going to turn this other light on so you can see how beautiful this little folder it comes with is. It's like a pearlescent metallic. It's just amazing, beautiful paper. I hope you can see that reflection. But it opens up for this amazing little presentation. I've added a bird to my wreath, some calligraphy. The invitation comes with a single ply paper stock with a embossed pearlescent edging to it to frame your piece. The calligraphy states the purpose, the holiday. In the folder, let's see if I can get this back in here. In the folder it goes, in the envelope, and off in the mail. And another thing I will say too is that these invitation designers kind of figure out for you the weight of what they're doing so that you can send something like this off with a single stamp. That's important. I've got another final example of one of the invitations that I thought was kind of interesting. It's silver and white. Silver and white. It's a folder. And what I've done is I've taken the wreath. I've added a couple hearts, changed the colors a little bit, and put in here, congrats. It could be college, or college graduation, high school graduation, or a wedding, an anniversary, something like that, maybe a new baby. Again, presentation is everything. Who wouldn't want to get that in the mail? So, I'm back with you again. That's your lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope it's something that you can take forward with you into your life and actually create something beautiful for the people that mean something to you.